Hey guys, today's video is going to be a little bit different. Today I'm telling you what I'm watching on Netflix. In today's age, everything is about streaming. We really don't watch videos anymore. We really don't have as many cable satellite subscriptions. It's all about the streaming service. And of course, one of the first, if not the first, was Netflix. And they are always adding, they're always taking away, there's always something new, there's something original. I want to share with you 3 things that I've been watching and what I think about them. First up, we have the movie The Exception. This is going to be a World War II time era piece. Let's start with some of the actors that you may or may not be familiar with in this movie. First up is going to be Lily James. Most may be familiar with her from the live action Cinderella movie, playing Cinderella. We also have Jai Courtney. Please don't come at me if I said that wrong, but most probably recognize him from the Divergent series. We have Christopher Plummer, who, especially for me, is always going to be remembered from The Sound of Music as Captain Von Trapp. And then Janet McTeer. She was previously in The White Queen on Starz. So let's get more into the storyline. This movie I like because it's about the previous king of Germany before Nazis took over. This is a little bit different because any movies I've seen previously kind of take place with the general population. This one is vastly different. Basically, our storyline here is that the king is no longer in power. He's now in a different country, and the Nazis are sending officers to watch over him, kind of make sure he's not up to anything. But there's supposedly a spy in place, and it's also the officer's job to bring to light who that spy is. Of course, you've got everyday life that's going to get in the way. You've got romance. You've got other army officials all coming at you. I feel like this movie gives a little bit different take on this situation. We're always learning, and we're always learning about this time period, at least I am. So this one, again, gave me a little bit different perspective. I found that this one is very similar almost to another movie that is on Netflix. I will put the name here because I cannot pronounce it. But again, both of these were kind of similar in they gave more depth to these Nazis officers. They kind of made you question a little bit their values. It made you see a little bit more. This movie will leave you kind of one of those open endings. I mean, you kind of get the gist of what's happening, but they're not actually putting it out there for you. Our second movie is going to be Secret Obsession. There are a few familiar faces in this one. First off is going to be Brenda Song. If you were a fan on the Disney Channel, then you probably recognize her from Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, or she even had her own Wendy Wu movie. Mike Vogel is another familiar face on here. You probably know him from Supercross. He was also in a series, The Brave. And last but not least, we also have Dennis Haybert. Again, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing this wrong, but you probably recognize him from the Allstate commercial, or he was also the dad in Love and Basketball. As far as storyline goes on this one, it's a little bit predictable. And for me, that means I'm usually screaming at my TV, telling them, no, don't go in there, run, do this. It gets you interacting with the TV, which is at the end of the day an inanimate object. This is one of those movies I find that it's asking you the entire time, who can you really trust? It starts out with this woman on the run, then she loses her memory. Her husband comes to get her, but does he have good intentions? Now, one thing that kind of irked me with this movie a little bit is there is a character, and this is going to be the guy driving the convertible, who they introduce him to you. They use him to kind of throw you off a little bit, but they never actually explain who this character is, how he came to know Brenda Song's character, and for me that's frustrating. If you've watched this movie and you know the answer, please leave it in the comments letting me know, because I'm still frustrated with that. Our third movie for today's video is going to be the Red Sea Diving Resort. Now this one is a gem. If you have not seen it, I encourage you to go right now, pull up Netflix and put in the Red Sea Diving Resort. This one also has some familiar faces. First up we have Michael Kenneth Williams. You may recognize him from 12 Years a Slave. We have Chris Evans, you know, Captain America. This one is based on a true story. Now, what I really loved about this movie is that it is a part of history that I have never heard of before. And that is the process of taking Jewish refugees out of Africa and relocating them to Israel for safety. Now, of course, they had to set up some sort of way to do this, and they found that by having a diving resort where they actually brought true tourists in as a front. Along the way, they are fighting local governments. Each refugee in these camps were a sign of money. The UN gave a certain amount per refugee to this country. So of course, by having them freed, they were not getting this income. Again, a great movie. Sit down, take your time to watch all three of these. Let me know what you think of them, if you've seen them before. Thank you for watching. If you are here at the end of this, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. That way you can see all future videos. Feel free to go back and watch old videos. Hit the like button if you like this one. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you next time.